used to attention, but it's gone from just attention to hyper, people paying attention to what's going on. How are you dealing with this right now?
I mean,
Same?
Yeah, same.
Can you block it out?
Absolutely. Like, I don't really hear the noise. I just come here and play basketball every single day, and that's what I focus on. And, this is my job, so everything else, all the external noise, doesn't faze me.
What did you prioritize the last couple of days? What did you need the most?
I think honestly just getting away from basketball a little bit and, getting some sleep, getting some rest, taking care of my body. And then, getting back in the gym, working on my shot. We've done some small group stuff too, working on like some breakdown things that we need to get better at, whether it's ball screen stuff, whether it's defensively. So it's been nice to be able to like go hard in those areas because other than that, like we've just had walkthroughs before every single game to this point, just because of our schedule. It's been so demanding, so it's been nice.
We saw last night where you had team dinner. I know a lot of times that's something where you can really bond, whether it's on the road or here. What did you kind of get out of that, or anything else you've been able to do here recently?
Yeah, it's been fun. That's like one of our first, team bonding things that we actually had time to do. So, it was fun to all go out to dinner and just get to hang out in a setting outside of basketball and get to know each other and to laugh and to not be so tense and serious all the time. Like those are important moments for this team too.
How much more intense was today's session compared to anything you guys have done in the practice setting since the season started?
Yeah, I think, even when we go through our walkthroughs, like there's an intensity about us. It's just not your heart rate's not up. It's just a little bit different, but, to be able to go up and down and to actually play live and see how things are working and try new things, try new plays, go over plays that maybe have worked and maybe haven't worked and get better defensively, I think has been huge for us. So, I think from a competitive standpoint, like we were just competing a lot more. Other than that, like I feel like our intensity is always really good and that's something Coach always demands out of us.
Caitlin, what do you expect to be kind of different in these next stretch of games now that you have more and more practice time?
I think our chemistry, you'll continue to see it grow, our connection get a little bit better. Hopefully we get our legs under us a little bit more, make a few shots. Felt like we probably haven't shot it as well as we would have liked. And maybe that's, just the ball not rolling our way, and maybe that's because our legs are tired. So I think that, but I think overall just our chemistry of, how we're working together. We're a young team. Like, when I'm playing the point guard spot, like I haven't got to practice with my team much. Like that's really hard, trying to navigate an offense and, you haven't had much practice time together. So I think that's just something we're going to continue to navigate, but I think it's, it's already improved a lot and it's only going to continue.
You exited last game with that knee injury. What did that feel like, and are you good now?
Yeah, I'm good. It's still a little hard to hear, but it's all good.
You're used to physical play.
Yeah.
You said you grew up playing against the guys. What's this first 11 games been like for you?
Yeah,
Surprise or no?
Yeah, it's definitely been physical. I mean, I wouldn't say I've been surprised. Like, I know the physicality was coming, and that's something I was prepared for. And I think that's the biggest adjustment is how physical this league is and how, good these players are that are guarding me. Like, they're in my space all the time. They're not going to help off of me, and just really great defenders. And, so I'm still trying to learn and navigate that of, like, setting up cuts, using screens better, making better reads out of ball screens. I think it's just, like, all those little things that will come with time. I'm trying to learn on the fly, too. So, giving myself a little grace, but also I feel like I've already learned a bunch through the first 11 games, and I feel like you can see that, and that's only going to continue to improve.
I'm curious, a diehard sports fan like yourself might turn on a sports center and stuff like that, but lately it's probably been all of you about you, for example. What do you turn on to turn that off?
Yeah, I don't watch a ton of Sports Center. I mean, I watch the other WNBA games as much as I can.
Okay.
Movies, random shows, My little brother's living with me, so he plays a lot of video games, so sometimes I get caught watching that. I don't know. Just random stuff,
For this team just to have an intense session like this all together to work on stuff, get through things like that?
Me personally, it's a part of being a pro. I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. I think that when you don't have games, you have practice, you're supposed to go hard. So I think that's just expectation, me personally, but I would hope it's the same for our team too. So it's just something we need, We can't be in a rush, obviously, and we don't have a game coming up, so get the work in, It's gonna be gutty, it's gonna be trenchy, but it's worth it.
What did the 2 days off do or mean for you to have that kind of gap finally?
Oh, I needed a reset, so it was good for me. I was able to go and see my family. Considering my family change and everything I've had to encounter these last couple months, it was good for me to see my family, see my nieces and nephew. So I was excited about my off days.
Has the game been more physical than in the past 11 games, or is this normal?
Like I said, I'll speak from personal experience. It's always been like this. The gritty, the plays that seem like out of touch, but me personally, it's always been like this. I came up with Maya Moore, so trust me.
Because yeah, exactly. Everybody's paying attention now, though. Do you feel that? I mean, everywhere you go, every turn, everybody's talking about this.
Yeah, obviously, you can't help, what your eyes can't unsee it, I mean, I think for me, you would like to think that the league is playing by the right rules. You would like to think that players individually, respect players and still be competitive. Dirty play is what it is, based on your personal, who you try to be, but here in our locker room and what we try to do, we try to keep it clean and just be competitive.
Kelsey, now that you've had this a couple days off, now practice time, how do you just go about building chemistry to kind of get right and have more of a connection out there on the court going forward?
I think to his point, practice, man. I think all you can do is rack up as many reps as you can. You're not going to get it all back in a couple days, obviously, but you get, your daily deposits, and we deposit every day. I think in the long run, we're going to see the fruits of our labor. That's the idea.
I was going to say, what has your kind of message been to the team and how they handle situations like you guys haven't been encountering?
Yeah, I think for one, especially for 2-2, C squared is obviously on a different, as far as everybody seeing how everything goes for her individually and the scopes is on her. For her, I tell her to give herself some grace for one. You're not gonna get it, like I said, we're not gonna get it all back in a week. We're not gonna get it back in a couple of days. So for us, it's about taking the daily deposits and individually getting what we need. And then from a group standpoint, I think everything will slow itself down if we mentally just take a breath. And I think for my team, I try to be the person that's gonna be, hey, take some time for yourself, get what you need, and then when the team needs you, you can answer the bell. And so the mindset is for us to be clear here to go and compete.
Guard actions you and Caitlin have been getting into this season. What have you felt about how those have gotten better? I think Christie said you guys studied the Warriors a little bit for those. How has that all kind of come for you to come together?
Based on how I see it, I think it's an effective way to play and utilize the rest of our group. Our 4s and 5s are really, really agile. So that guard-to-guard work is going to pull as many people as it possibly can. And the hope is that you make the right play, make the right read. But I enjoy, the guard action. I think we could tap into it a lot more, and that's the idea. I think that's why we get these reps.
How have you seen CC react to all of the things that are going on? What have you seen behind the scenes that maybe we're not seeing out here publicly?
I won't say anything I don't know. She's a human, and I think that this world should treat her as such. I think she deserves to give herself some grace, and I think a lot of people around this world should too. And I think that at the end of the day, not only is she human, she's a 22-year-old kid, technically, and I think that she's going to transition. There's going to be things that she's just going to experience that comes with time, and I think that the world should give her some grace. I really do, and I think that's our job as a team to make sure that she's covered from a standpoint of feeling mentally and physically safe, obviously, but psychologically, we want her to, at the end of the day, she got to go home and sleep. So that's our deal. We want her to feel at home all the time.
How have you felt after not really having a training camp? Is this kind of your mini training camp?
I would say so. I think for me, it's about really in a way. I love to hoop, man. So I come in here and get my reps no matter what. But I think the way our stretch went and the way our games are going, I think these small snippets of what we do and what we get, I think it'll help us in the long run. I really do.
That's good.
We just had practice. It was great.
You feel like you've been on holiday with a couple days off?
Yeah, I felt like we were back in training camp a little bit. That's the last time we practiced was several weeks ago. So it just felt good to be able to work on some things with these guys.
How important is this week to actually have time to go through some things?
Yeah, we talked to them earlier about the things that we were able to improve on throughout from the first 5 games to 6 to 11. And there were some, like our turnovers, we really improved there. We really improved on the opponent offensive rebounds. We were able to get more not as many second chance points. But then some of the things that we're able to work on is just on the defensive end. And so we were able to do that yesterday and today a little bit.
How much more intense was it than anything else you've been able to do from the start of the season until now in terms of the speed and everything like that?
Yeah, it was game speed today. We haven't done that in between all those days ever. Not one time. You just can't.
To that point, what are you now?
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Oh gosh, sorry.
To that point, what more now in particular can you zero in on, whereas before you're probably just doing a broader perspective on everything?
Yeah, transition defense is one that we can really work on right now because we have some time Also, we did a lot of breakdowns as it relates to keeping the ball in front of us, dribble penetrations, and we're putting our posts in some tough situations, having to help so much. So we've got to do a much better job keeping the ball in front.
Have you talked about physical play and how you guys have gone up against this? Is it different than normal, or is this pretty much how it is?
Well, we played the top teams in the league, some of them 3 times already. So, it's just, this is a physical league. And that's just, we've just got to be able to take the hits and give some too. Like we've got to be able to keep fighting. We tend to get down when things aren't going our way, and we have a hard time trying to get back. So that's one thing we're really focusing on is, when things aren't going our way, we've got to be able to snap back into it.
Do you want to see somebody step up when Caleb gets knocked down like that? Do you want to have an enforcer, somebody say, hey, that's my teammate here?
Yeah, well, I think we saw that in the Seattle game. I mean, Victoria Vivians and Caitlin kind of tied up, and it was in play, so people were all right there. So we went, everyone went and kind of helped right there. But, the other incident was away from the ball. It was a non-basketball play. We were on the other end of the floor, so you can't even compare the two. But Seattle showed exactly where we were going to be.
How do you expect things to kind of change for you and kind of come together now that you've had this practice time?
You get to fix all the things that you can't get right. You can't get right just watching video. You can't, and like it's live action. Like you can't, just walk through things and get better. So just being able to do things live changes the game.
Are you able to focus on what's going on and block out all the noise? Because it's gone like a hyper focus about this team right now.
Yeah, that's where we were from day one. That's what we talked about. We have to keep our blinders on and our earplugs in and just try to, focus on us, focus what we can control.
What is the level of frustration when you are going through a stretch like you went through? You can't fix it.
Yeah.
What is that level of frustration like for you, and what is it like for the players?
Yeah, I don't know if I've experienced anything like it ever in my 12 years of coaching in this league. Just that grind of a schedule, and 2 back-to-backs against the 2 best teams, 2 of the best teams in the league. At the end, it's just tough. It's just really tough, and I'm really proud of our players. I just keep talking about they keep showing up. They keep showing up. You just got to keep your team together whenever they're going through something.
Katie Lou's worn a bunch of hats for you guys this year in terms of roles and positions and things like that. Well, how would you describe her role and the importance she has to you so far this year?
Yeah, Katie Lou's been huge. I mean, she's been a veteran presence for us, which is huge. Katie Lou had a baby 10 months ago. 10 months ago. So she's trying to get in this situation, the way we were being scrutinized for everything and just the microscope on us, she's trying to figure it out again. She's trying to get her game back. So you've got that happening, you've got, all the outside happening. But she's just trying to be consistent, and she's putting in the extra work that needs to be done to help herself get back.
What do you think it'd be like for going against her sister on Friday for the first time in a while?
Yeah, no, man, I hadn't even thought about that. But I think that's going to be, it's going to be a cool situation. Anytime you get to play against your sibling, that's probably, she's going to go at her, I'm sure, pretty good.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.